All right, let's get started. I'm on a march to startup. I'm dropping out of my PhD in about 5 months, and so I'm just trying to get everything in place so that it I basically set myself up to start up, although I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to work on. But yeah, let's get started. And I think actually even before I get started on what I'm going to do today, I want to address something that I think maybe I haven't explained as much and maybe I should a little bit. And this goes back to a comment that I got today, and it's why are you focusing on reading and studying and all these different things? Just build. And it's a great question. Lots of people say just build, and the best most articulated answer I've already posted on there, as you can see. Actually, I'll go up a little bit so you can read it. But essentially, anyone can build. Anyone can learn how to make an app, make apps in a month. Anyone can learn how to make websites in a month, and then just post them and post a lot of them and try to stumble on success. But that's not the approach I'm trying to take. I'm trying to be a little bit more thoughtful and have some strategy involved, have some planning, have some foresight, because in that way, what did it take? Maybe 1 or 2 months of maybe delayed studying or delayed building because I'm studying in parallel. But for what? For 50 years of knowledge that I'm just going to accrue and compound over time. So my written answer is a lot more insightful. But the other thing that I wanted to mention was this isn't new to me. I've been in business competitions. I've observed other startups around me. I know more or less what it takes for, at least in the initial phases. I haven't seen, for example, companies start up and then just completely IPO. That's sort of what I want to develop, that understanding and that perspective. But what I have seen is companies essentially go from an idea, either in research or just a consumer idea, and be built up to the point where they're generating some revenue. They can probably be acquired for around $10 to $100 million, but it takes around 8 to 10 years of work. And in those same 8 to 10 years, there's companies that are worth billions. And so my perspective is, how about I spend those few extra delayed months just making sure I refine my skills, I learn everything that I can learn that's reasonable. Again, I'm not trying to learn everything, read every book. I'm just trying to understand enough that I feel okay, let's get the ball rolling. And actually, the way I articulate it makes it sound like first I'm going to read and then build. No, it's building in parallel to reading and learning. So, yeah, my idea is let's learn while we're building and make sure that we're executing in the right direction, and that is towards an impactful, innovative, billion dollar ideas. So that's my perspective. I don't just want to make apps. I don't just want to make websites, though I may make some apps and websites to start with, as I mentioned, for my freelance portfolio. And I'll sell those even though they're meant to be for my portfolio. The end goal is impact and innovation, and of course, wealth. So that's my approach to this journey. So now that I've gotten that out the way, excuse me. So yesterday, I've almost been procrastinating because this has been on my list for 3 days of freelancing. I need to have some income while I figure this out. I want, until I can get FU money, I need to make income some way. And that's either going to be a tech job, which would take so much more time away from me, or I can be more autonomous and have flexible work schedule with freelancing. And it also let me dabble in skills that I want to develop. So anyways, I am freelancing, and I've scoped out what platforms I'm going to use. First, I'm going to use Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer. And now that I've scoped those, made profiles, I need to see what sort of things what skills I can use for freelancing, what my portfolio should look like, and how much would I charge, and then start to make a list of projects that I'm going to build to develop my portfolio. So that's the first thing I'm going to do today. Second thing, so before I go on, once I make a list of projects, then I'm going to start building. You're going to see me build apps. You're going to see me build other things that I'm going to start to sell as well. These won't just be code files that sit on my repository, on my portfolio. I'm going to also do two birds with one stone and make it apps that I'm going to sell. And the other thing, I don't know if I'll do this here online, but I have my books right behind me. You can probably see right there. So I have those books, going to skim each book for like 5 to 10 minutes and understand what each book contains, and then eventually make a ranked list. I've also ordered the rest of the books to Startup, which was here. Ordered these books on Amazon, so those are going to come. This is an offline task. I have lots of other articles and links that I just want to organize. Those that are relevant now, I'll start looking through and seeing what I'll actually use. And probably, so we'll see about this today. I might get to this, but essentially making a list of ideas that I want to pursue now and pursue later. I don't know how much of this I'll do in public. Maybe the low-hanging fruit I can for sure do in public. This I might want to save a little bit. I'll build in public, but I don't know if I would just want to share my ideas so that people can just start building on them. So when I start working on them, I'm going to share them. When my focus is on it, I'll share it. So I'll probably share low-hanging fruit. Like, come on, that's easy. But all of these other ones, these take a bit of perspective and thought, and I don't want to just hand it out. Got to do your own research, develop your own perspective. So let's get started. So I started earlier making a list of skills that narrowing down on a list of skills that I currently have and would like to develop versus skills that I would like to have, but I can see them being a little bit more complex, requiring more time than I have now to just get rolling. So right now what I have is iOS app development. I'd say maybe I can make apps. I understand code. However, all the packages, that's still kind of maybe I'm 30%. But I understand the code. So it's just the packages, but packages is what makes up most of the code. But then again, packages are just easy to learn. You just check the website. If you have any trouble, ask ChatGPT, look at Stack Overflow. It's it's not even that difficult though. So I know iOS app development. What I think I would like to know or develop immediately is some design skills, because I think some of these projects are going to be asking for me to make an app, and it probably is going to be starting from the idea, so I'm gonna have to mock it up for them. And for that, I'll probably use Figma. I hear Figma is one of the best or most popular at the moment, most accepted. I also know C++ and Python, machine learning, to some extent computer vision. I would just need to refine it a little bit. So I know all of those. And then what I need to pick up again is Git. So let's see. What I don't know, should I pick up blockchain and cryptocurrency? I'm almost thinking about starting, like, once I go past the low-hanging fruit, this is one of the ideas I'm going to share. It's just because it's just a topic, not even sharing the idea at the moment. It seems like Web 3.0, blockchain, cryptocurrency, this is sort of like the frontier almost. And although there's lots of work in here, it has yet to be sort of become part of the mainstream. So there's definitely a lot of potential here. And a lot of people seem convinced. Hey, Snowball. A lot of people seem convinced that it's so a lot of people, VCs, seem convinced that my adopted dog just started decompressing and now she's learning to bark at people. But anyways, as I was saying, blockchain, cryptocurrency, seems like people are looking for an outlet for it, an application. So finding something that's compelling and making it accessible and usable seems like the future. So that might be like an area that I dive deep into. I just need to like convince myself and find ways that I can make money right away. I can't do like a passion project, and at least for my first idea, I need something that pays the bills and gives me some FU money so that then I can work on other passion projects that have a longer time span. So anyways, let's see. Learn now. So design, maybe web mockups, because I think Figma should be usable for both. So it would just be using Figma. Let's see. And then mobile. When should I learn Android? I'm not sure if I should learn Android app development now or in the future. And then other mobile, learn in the future. Once I build websites, it would be mobile web applications. And blockchain, cryptocurrency. This one I'm not immediately sure. Yeah, so those are the list of skills. Now, what projects can we work on? These are lists of roadmaps. So depending on what skills I said, I'll look at the roadmap and see what I need to learn to refine my knowledge. Yeah, so looking at the three freelancing platforms, let's see what each of these skills brings in. Right, is that what I wanted? What skills do I want to, what should my portfolio look like? So yeah, so that's going to be projects. Preferably skills that are not. And how much do I want to charge? Yeah, so this will give us some insight on what projects and how much do we charge. So let's first look for iOS app. Yeah, but this one I looked at, it was like a full-fledged app. Integrating live streaming, yeah, that's fine. And interactive educational content, that's not me. Experience with, yeah, so this would mean I would probably need to pick up, okay, so this might actually be, maybe I need to learn Firebase. I would need to learn AWS, as well as whatever languages are needed for AWS. Python, iOS. Why am I saying Python first? Interactive storytelling app, 69 bits, 87 bits. Oh, what's this? To build an innovative AI-powered Yeah. That seems like a headache. Because what they're asking for is only for 750. AI. How many images do they have? I don't know. The engineer in me doesn't like that sort of thing. What about this one? Mobile app, 75 bits. Powers to simultaneously print. I don't know how I feel about these because like $1,000 for an app, full-fledged app, that's, let's say, 35 an hour. That'll be like my starting, or even 30. Let's say it's 1,500 divided by 30. 50 hours. About a week's worth of work. And what they're asking for is a mobile app. Sell prints directly to clients. Image browsing. Purchase. Payment processing. Image browsing, that's simple. Purchase option. What would that involve? Payment processing. I'm not familiar with those. But let's say like 10 hours, 20 hours. Based on location and date. So like maps maybe. I don't know. I wasn't feeling freelancer. And every project already has like 80 bids. What is this? Movie streaming app, $450. Wait. Huh. They're crazy. This would be like, oh, 400. Full stack web app development. Comprehensive. No, I am not liking this. Let's see. If my goal is to make 3,000 a month is nice. And 3,000 a month. I make an app, let's say that's $2. I just need 1,500 people to download it every month. And if anything, this seems so bad, but honestly, like the only reason I would look through Freelancer for some of these horrible jobs is just to see what ideas other people are working on. But even then, that'd be just a waste of my time. Okay, so let's actually check the other ones because no. Firebase. Embedded software. For 1,000. How much was it? Average bid 31,000. That one seemed okay. $300. But that's 10 hours of work. But this person seems like they would be I don't know. the margins on these things are not very good. Python. $3,000. Yeah, I don't know. What's going through my head is $1,300. The only people that this is going to be worthwhile to is if you're extremely experienced, that you can pull this out in like 10 hours. Well, because if you have little experience, this could take you like 2 weeks full time at least. And at that point, you're working like $10 an hour. Yeah. And then in addition to that, you just have to apply to so many jobs, because each of these has like 80 bids, 30 bids. So for them to select you, and then the average other job is going to have like $200 and each of those has lots of bids. I'm not sure about Freelancer. Let's check Upwork. Yeah, it's actually straightforward. And this is 20% higher, $15 to $30 an hour. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Proposals 20 to 50. Yeah, and the proposals here seem a lot more reasonable compared to 80. This was $500. It's just an update, which is not bad. Hourly. Yeah, this one was actually pretty good as well. Yeah, so now that we're noticing it's good, iOS app is good on here. And let's look at like what was C++, Unity. Yeah, so this was more application specific. There is some, not necessarily familiar with. Wait. Okay, anyways, I was just noticing that one was so easy. Yeah, so this is going to be more like microcontrollers and embedded systems, which I know, but I don't necessarily want to build that side of things. Maybe in the future, I'd focus on like embedded systems if it was for an innovative product, but that can be so capital intensive. C++, what about Python? Or maybe, okay, let's not do Python, because Python, again, is just a language, but what if we did like computer vision? Seeking web developer for facial image, 650, what are they looking for? Proven experience, AI, predictive analysis, trends, facial recognition in AI, automatic dating. Yeah, that was very broad, but it seems doable. Customize clothing using as an input. 1,000. So silly, like the maybe it's possible, but 1,000, that's basically a startup, and all they're paying is 1,000. I could make that myself and then try to sell it for like 10,000 probably. UI for app for data vision application. Yeah, that's better pay. Yeah, so there's a lot better things here. How many proposals though? 20 to 50. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. So there is better choice here in Upwork, and then I just closed the wrong one. Upwork was better. Now going back to going to Fiverr. I think Fiverr is a little bit different in that you like post what your services are, and then people can, I guess, contract you. And this was one example. He just had like one AI project. Like any student can make this in their bachelor's degree. And then this was just like I guess like, it looks like Python. You could just add buttons and labels, or even Swift, I don't know. Yeah, and he charges $90 for the basic, and he's had like 35 people contract him. 35 is, let's see, 35 times 90, he's made $3,000. That's okay. So I think what I'm going to go with is Fiverr and Upwork. And the ones that I'm looking at, C, C++ are very application specific. Python tends to be with machine learning, which is good. Okay, actually, let's make that a little bit more obvious. So for iOS app development, I know Firebase, and then for machine learning, there's Python, computer vision. So how do I want to round this off? All right, so I've decided focusing on Upwork, Fiverr, and I'll look specifically for iOS app development and machine learning / computer vision with Python. And then I'll see if any of these are worth learning depending on what the projects say. So first, looking at Fiverr, looking at iOS gigs that people have posted. Developing with my team. Let's look at his projects. Yeah, but they have a team. So, but I mean, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, and those are just landing screens, which they could do in Figma. Well, actually, they probably are Figma or some other thing like that. Yeah, and these each only have one photo. So we're probably for sure going to have to pick up some sort of design with Figma, something else. And let's see. 3 to 4 screens, no backend. 790. Responsive UI. SQL or Firebase integration. Oh, Bill. Okay, actually, let's see if we can rank them by best selling. I will do mobile apps. Use experience in developing native, cross-platform, and hybrid. Yeah, so they're only using Firebase. Wait, what? A simple mobile app. But no source code and... Huh. Standard. Premium. Yeah, so it almost seems like Figma or some sort of... what do you call it? The visuals. That's important. It also helps people feel a lot more like impressed, I guess. we reviewed this guy. He only has 12 sales, so thought these were supposed to be best selling. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna need Figma for like this little thumbnail thing. What are pro services? Best selling. Okay, so she does Figma design. License for analysis. Oh, UI UX designer, of course. Let's see, fluent. 10 screens. Plus prototype? What does that mean, prototype? I like this guy's rates. Oh, we're a team of creative individuals. Yeah, so some people do make money. 93. Oh, those are just 93 ratings. All right, so we've decided on iOS app development, machine learning, computer vision, image processing, Git, Figma. I've decided on that. May have to learn AWS, maybe not. We'll see. And then website designs for the future, so we'll just close this. Now, considering all that, what sort of projects can I do to get this going? And let's see what kind of projects they have on there. So I have business, social. So let's think about this. We need apps that are, let's see, Brainstorm. Apps with back end. We need like splash stuff, or what do you call it, like the marketing screenshots. We need that's location. Yeah, it's just Firebase and multiple screens, buttons, views. Authentication. That authentication with Google and Facebook, that I'm unfamiliar with. But these other things are just maybe there's some like different views I haven't tried yet. Yeah, I don't think I should actually approach this from the perspective of okay, I'm not going to spend too long. All I'm doing is less than an hour, just seeing what has been done, what things are sort of the scope of what people are looking for, and just considering that when I make my own apps. So it's like basic apps with backend, so you're going to have like login / sign up, and then Google, Facebook. So that part I'm unfamiliar with. And then in Firebase, there's like these rules, I guess, or yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I think it's rules, and I need to become more familiar with that. I'm wondering how they actually did that, or is this... payment. How do I payments? So that is something I'm curious about that I haven't interacted with. let's have a brief idea. And from the top ones, no, they didn't have good ones. So I'm going to need for every project I make, I'm going to need to display it basically like this. And I'll just keep this in mind. This guy, he had this one. Fitness. Great. So we have some of the, oh, that's actually 10,000. Damn. According to your requirements. What was I saying? Oh, we have screenshots of like portfolios, I guess. Oh, he has a lot more actually. Cool. So we have basically what portfolios look like. Their profiles aren't that complicated. Let's see if we can look at his profile. Is this just his profile? Read more. Yeah, simple profile. Let's see. Yeah, so simple profile. And it seems like that's just standard across how it's made. Fitness app. Oh, and I'll just follow his template. Full stack, project management. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So it's just very standard. So Fiverr, very quick to understand. Upwork, this one, there's jobs you apply for, so it's not quite like find work, find jobs. Let's see if I can look for freelancers. new client account. So if you want to post jobs, company name. Oh, that reminds me, I should see the status of my company, see if it's been approved. But anyways, consultation. How can I, browse experts. And let's see for iOS app. Nice. He charges about $1 a minute, which is solid. $50. There we go. Wait, where's the portfolio? I'm like spacing off. What are some of the common questions? Skills and expertise. Portfolio. So he actually has this published. Speak easy. Stress. Yeah, so that was when he was starting off. You can tell the difference in quality. Yeah, now also the way he markets it is also, what's this? Nice, 8,000. March, for about a year. $12 an hour. If he has 70K at 591 hours, yeah, $118 an hour. That's pretty good. That'll do it. Let's see his GitHub, Stack Overflow. Only 2 repositories. One is empty and the other is Objective-C. Oh, is this Notes app by wait, so it's not even his, or I don't know, but I guess you don't need a very good GitHub. And let's see here. Activity. I'm not seeing much either. Huh. So I guess none of those are useful. Or not useful, but like important. So let's go for it. So those are sort of the requirements of what our app, whatever apps I make need. And then let's look at like machine learning. What are people doing here? 22 an hour, $80 an hour. Let's look from this person. Only 4,000 and 10,000. Oh. And how long has he been on here? So he has made 200K for $2,554. So it's about 78 an hour. But his PhD is in aircraft design, data science, the PhD, work history. So that's all he has. Just for, let's see if we can see his full profile. All work, maybe like. Whoa. Wait, show me his full profile. Oh. Okay, so this is his posting, and wait, he's only worked 9 jobs, but he's made 200,000. Expert, 85 an hour. Damn. Identify shortcomings, brainstorm ideas. Must be proficient. More than 6 months. And then let's do a portfolio. In his portfolio for an AI, he has the landing, whatever this is called, the marketing screenshot, the video showing it being used, and then a project description, possibly a website. Let's see if that's even still being used. And then the next one that he has is here, and oh, that was just copying it. What are their services? Oh, he has a lot more in his portfolio than I thought. Now that's pretty cool. Yes, that's a solid one to reference. And okay, brainstorm. This is for iOS app. And so I might actually have to also learn Android app development. To provide clients like a well-rounded perspective. Possibly. probably not 50-50 right now. The other one is machine learning and computer vision. And then this typically just requires like a, what is marketing screenshot and two like and then skills. So make these as close to real possible. Great. So now that I have, this wasn't even the brainstorm. This is more like requirements. Oh, what's going on? Okay. So we have iOS apps, machine learning, computer vision. Now let's brainstorm for each of these. Let's even just do applications and then computer vision. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break and then I'll think about projects that I can build. All right, so I'm ready to come up with some ideas. Get the brain juices flowing. Let's see. Okay, so first idea app I have is a, oh, what was I spelling? Weekly. Oh, yeah, so not the first idea, but the first idea before weekly actually is a time tracker. Something simple yet useful. For example, this one, kind of what I want to do, but not really. So this one, there's different, oh, wait. Or maybe it is, No, that's a good point. Actually, I have to look at it more. So turns out maybe it is. But my idea was essentially, how do you track your productive time and then sort of get a detailed, like a breakdown of your day, how many hours and minutes you spend on each task, and because I don't use my phone and I don't use my iPad, I don't want to be able to have to like use my phone to track my time. I got an Apple Watch just for this. Well, not just for this, but for other apps that I want to make as well. And from the Apple Watch, I would essentially press start when I'm doing a task. Maybe the Apple Watch using some of the sensors, noticing when I'm distracting myself if I'm setting up, walking around when I'm just supposed to be at my desk. So being able to track my productive hours and then try to increase it over time. At the end of the day, maybe write a journal of why my time was spent the way it was. So time tracker, let's see. Breakdown of how we're spent in the day. Use Apple Watch to access point, and then for next day. So something like that. Be able to see trends over time. And then maybe within this we do some sort of like habit tracking. There's lots of habit trackers though. So only things that I will have to do sense over sense. But then what I need to research and I'm almost hesitant to do it because look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Wait. Yeah, let's just say 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So at least 42. But I mean, it goes on and on, like daily habit tracker, time task tracking, time logger. What does this even do? Yeah, this is sort of what I had in mind. Logging your time. Oh, but it's at 1,000. Yeah. So there's just so many apps. There's just a lot of apps. But on the other hand, if this is just to build a portfolio, then I don't have to worry about the other apps. But at the same time, I do want it to be used. And I want to be able to upload it. Is there a way to like filter by popularity? Yeah, this is more of a calendar and to-do list. Really, speedometer. Let's see. That's crazy. Tacticus. Oh no, I think I covered that one. Yeah, so I think I got down the main ones. What's this? Four ratings? No, maybe I shouldn't. Oh, yeah, so we could actually make this time tracking across devices. So it would just be multiple apps, including macOS. charge a subscription. And that would give me exposure to developing for the watch, iPhone, iPad, and Mac. But it doesn't have to be for all those. It could just start with the watch and the phone. So I think I screenshotted this, and it seems like, yeah, I'll just screenshot it again just to be sure. Yeah, so that's basically my first idea, something like a time logger. Being able to essentially see where the hours in your day went for like a week or a week or so, until you really understand where your time is going, and then basically use your time more productively. Yes, that's the first one. Second one was weekly how would I say this? Weekly So there was an idea of, you can really see how many weeks are in your life. Oh, let's see. 55 years, 3 months, 7 days. Something like this, but not quite. I think this is just helping people visualize. And I want to do a little bit more than that. I want to... He only made it in 2024? When was this published? Essentially, there's this concept that that you can see how many weeks are in your life, assuming like you're 80 or 90, and it's not that many. 52 weeks in the year, and there's like 80 years. So there's 400, wait, did I do that right? 52 times 4,160 weeks in your life. That's not that many. And if you plot it out, it's going to be like a 20 by 200 row, or 20 by 200 grid. So it's not that much. And I think this is like the best version of it. We're here, the one with the time in it. You can really visualize how many weeks are in your life. And so it wouldn't just be for visualization, it would be weekly, like number of weeks in life plus, I don't know if like mood, or weekly review. So overall mood, things proud of things, improve, etc. So that sort of thing. Yeah, this one. Here you can see your life. $57. Ooh, so yeah, I'll add it later, but I could either do paid or ads. I want to try ads. I've never added ads, so I'd be interested to see how that does in comparison to paid. What is this even about? Yeah, it actually looks kind of bad. Yeah, I already did that one. 58 people bought that. And then I also have like a tanks game. Mine's actually pretty simple. It's not as involved as some of these. Mine's like 2D graphics. Even simpler than this one. Then there's the toggle app. That's one I had in the back of my mind. I won't go into that one, but it might be like a simple one I put out first. Let's see. What is it called? Like, ooh, I actually just thought of a good one that may have been made, but I'm not sure. So there's like, what is it called? Like math function colored interaction. So something like this, but with math functions. Like math functions screenplay. Oh, math. Or, oh, what was that? I think this one's been very popular. Do I want to have it? What would be my version of it? Would you rather? Yeah, let's not trace trend. What else? What else comes to mind? Tanks game. Yeah, I wrote that down. Oh, is it frozen? Let's see. What else comes to mind? What about life? Is life on there? Life simulator. Oh no. No, it's not what I want. Let's see. Oh, maybe they do have. Yeah, maybe another app has been made. Like the math one I have. Oh, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like split on what they're doing for this app. Let's see. There's something similar, I guess. Magic fluids. Yeah, so mine isn't quite fluids. There is no wallpaper. Subscription cost. What? Oh, I see. This is what I was thinking about. But not quite that. What if like... And a little bit like this. Yeah, this is fractal. There we go. It's fractal visualization. Did I screenshot it? Yeah, I did screenshot it. I guess people have already. Maybe like AR. Another one is AR measurements. Will it fit? What else? Ooh, maybe there's money to be made. What else comes to mind? AR measurements. What do I need in my life? So maybe I'm not as productive as I want to be, so I'm tracking my time. What else? There's one that comes to mind. I just don't want to measure it. Or not measure it. I just don't want to mention it. What else? What else? What else? Oh, there's two that come to mind. So there's one. I'll just say with C. And the other one, put C-N. And then the other one that comes to mind is and so I need to track my oh yeah, there's another one that comes to mind that I don't know if I want to mention it right now, but it's so there's those three. And what is this? What else do I need in my life? So I'm a college student. I'm broke. Maybe nutrition. My sleep is measured by my watch. Apple would also measure sleep, so I don't need that. Maybe, I don't know, exercise. Blood pressure apps. Or let's be more specific. Running planning apps. Or apps that help measure blood pressure. And oh, there's another one that comes to mind I don't want to mention. And what else? Oh. So I need to improve my running plans, which I mentioned. So when I wake up, exercise, maybe like dog, no, I don't know if, yeah, I don't know about that one. So walk my dog, I exercise, which right now I'm just following what my Garmin says. However, I'd like to have more planned out, and I'd also like to follow research about cardio to reduce blood pressure. So there's that I can improve. Then when I come back, brush my teeth, floss. Well, sometimes I floss in the morning, sometimes at night. Yeah, I don't think I need to manage anything there. Oh, shower. So I shower, brush my teeth, floss. Nothing there. Then, yeah, so nutrition's something I need to work on. And after that, I start to work. But my time, the time that I start working can vary depending on what time I went to sleep, how long it takes me to exercise, and what time I walked my dog. No, actually walking my dog takes about the same amount of time. So yeah, so that's why I have a time logger, time tracker, to see how my time is being used. And then once I'm working, I have three main focuses that I have. My TA job, my PhD research, and this effort, MarchToStartup. And so I split my time between those three. Not very consistent. Okay, so some pain points I'm noticing. Not consistent with eating schedule. Sleep. So I really want to find a groove and then just basically automate my day. Or not necessarily automate, but have more or less like a routine that I follow almost down to like within 10 minutes. And then after that, well, it's time to go to sleep. Oh, there's another app. What do I... So that's what I'll just say. I don't want to go into too much details there. And what else comes to mind? Yeah, I don't know if I want to go into journaling space. Actually, no. So those are some apps I have. I think those are like the majority that I have on my mind. And I know that I have a list of other ideas that I've thought about over the past 7 years. So I'll probably merge those two lists together and only share some of them. But my point isn't to just think about what I want to work on. Like, I'm going to choose one of these probably today, and then, or maybe tomorrow. I want to do some research, just make sure that whatever I work on is different and novel enough that it's worth working on because it's useful and because people would download it. Yeah, so what did I say I wanted to do today? So I have this, how much do I charge it? Yeah, I'll charge about $35 an hour, at least to start. Once I get going, closer to 60, 70, maybe within a year or two. And then if I don't have FU money like within 2 years, then I'll probably be charging 80 to 100. And then create a list of projects. So I have a good list to start. And I'm probably gonna continue researching, going through like Reddit boards. So I don't really want to focus on games. There's like one game that's more so just to get my feet wet. This one is one that I've wanted to make since I was a kid, so that's that. This one is more, I think it'd be cool. I'd probably play around with it. Yeah. Where did I write down? Reddit boards, yeah. So I do want to search through there. Yeah, so probably tomorrow, start building. Start building first app. We'll do this no, 14. Tomorrow's going to create a list. Decide on first build. Start date will be tomorrow. Due date tomorrow. And then something I do in the background is just going through some Udemy courses on freelancing that I purchased. That'll be helpful in me just making the most of freelancing and having like good communication and all of that. Because I think freelancing isn't just going to be me on Upwork and Fiverr, it's also going to be me with local businesses. And so that's where a little bit of the marketing and entrepreneurship, I guess, also comes in within freelancing itself. Let's see. So I did that. Now time to go over books. This I'll do offline. We started to do this. Low-hanging fruit. Yeah, so actually I'll say we finished that. I went over low-hanging fruit. And, okay, so this is tomorrow. I'll highlight it tomorrow. And then I also want to think about it with ChatGPT. Low-hanging fruit. Pain points in my life. In my life or my family's life, family's lives, family. Great. So, yeah, I'll probably do this offline. For now, we'll just go over like a few books online. And then the rest I'll work offline. So what is that? No, that's tomorrow. Books, of course. Books. Okay, so we'll go over for 4 books. And actually another one that came to mind was Algorand crypto app. So Algorand's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good crypto, but don't even listen to me when I say that. It's just I want to see it succeed. So my thing is like make an app for it. Yeah, so just ignore that about crypto. That's a personal thing. Don't listen to this as financial advice or anything. Not promoting it. Just think of it as crypto app. Let's just say that. Let's see. So now that we have project list, let's work over books. Shift context a little bit. So we have Startup Owner's Manual. Yeah, so actually that'll be the first one. Don't even have to go over it, or I'll write a sentence actually so other people can find it useful. That's this book. It's step-by-step guide for building a great company. And let's see, what is most compelling here? So basically, what he mentions in this book, what I want to show. No, wait. Oh, I'm so confused. Wait. So if you can see that, it starts off with you have a startup. What a startup is a group of people working on an idea, but they don't necessarily have the business model. They don't really have like a fit. They're looking for somewhere there where they fit. And what the fit means is they have a business model, so they know how they're providing value. They know how they're making money. They know who their customers are. They know how to scale. Like the business model allows them to scale. It's feasible. So you need to figure out all these things, which is basically the business model canvas or the lean canvas. So once you figure out those things and you have customers, then you transition from a startup. Now you're a company. Now you know what exactly you're building, and all you need to do is just scale. And so this is where typically founders are kicked out, although sometimes they're not. I guess in the news, the most popular ones, like Y Combinator, they don't kick out. And then what I like about this book actually is, this light is not going to work. Hold on, let me change it. Color. Why does that look red? That's, I guess, better. That'll do. So what I like about this book is that it basically breaks the process down for every single type of startup, whether it be software or physical. And this is like an example. Actually, let me add light at the front of the room. Yeah. So you could pause it there, but if it could show in good enough detail, basically, when you have a product, the product can be digital, physical. And the way that you can deliver it to people, the channel is either on the web or physical. So it could be, for example, you're on the web selling a physical product, so you're like Amazon selling books, or you're on the web selling digital products, so you're like Facebook, which is like ads, movies, digital books, digital movies, and so on. So it includes something for every single type of startup, and then it basically takes you through all the phases. It tells you about all the different customer segments, helps you go through the interview process, shows you how you can distribute your product. So this is for physical distribution. If you want to pause and just take a look. So what that showed is basically you have a company and you have to distribute your physical product to people. You can either do that via like a website, or maybe you're making like a small piece which needs to go to people that will then use your piece and make something bigger. You can sell it to like distribute. There's lots of different ways to sell things. It's not just like either you sell in a physical store or you sell it on your personal website. Like, there's so many different ways you can approach it, and this mentions all of them. So it's just giving you like a understanding of what's possible. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, is what's possible. And then this also talks about how to get customers, how to keep them, how to grow customers, because you essentially want to create a viral loop where you get customers and they bring more customers and you get your product growing. Yeah, so it talks about everything, every single step. And then at the end, in the appendix, let's see, how can I show all this? In the appendix, it has a bunch of checklists. And these checklists, again, go through every single process. So for example, this one is board management buy-in. So here the goal is to get agreement between the investors, founders, and team on committing to the customer development process. There's a checklist for market size. So what do you need to do there? You need to estimate the total available market, served available market, target market, and then a bunch of other things you need to do for that. Product features, customer segments, channels, market type, customer relationships, key resource hypotheses, revenue and pricing hypothesis, partners hypothesis, design tests, low fidelity MVP test, measuring customer behavior, verifying product market fit, verifying who customers are, getting ready to sell, hiring a sales person, developing a scale roadmap, finding early evangelists, getting out and selling. So step by step, very complete, from a reputable person. Let's see, how would I actually write it though? So the reason that this is on here is because comprehensive step by step guide to building a startup from customer discovery to what's like the end stages, to company development. Because as soon as you have identified your customers and you know what you need to build, you're essentially a company. Now this no longer applies because the goal of the company is to execute and scale, because you already have a product and you have a customer and you don't necessarily need to continue customer discovery. So customer validation, once the customer to customer validation. Of customer discovery to end of company and the way to think about it here is a startup is essentially, we're not talking about the business structure, we're talking about the intention of the group of people. The group of people can either be in startup mode where they're searching for what to build and the people pain points to address, and then a company is you already know what you're building, you just need a scale. So that's the difference between company and startup in this sense, from the start to the end of company formed. So that's that one. Next one, let's do talking to humans. So talking to humans basically focuses on understanding customers. Let's see the end. Perfect complement to the existing body of work on customer development. Oh, so this is review from Steve Blank, the Startup Owner's Manual. If you're teaching entrepreneurship or running a startup accelerator, you need to make it required reading for your students and teams. There we go. And that's one reason that I'm also reading all these things, because like startup accelerators are basically going to have these materials. And why not just be one step ahead, understand this now, and use it as a guide. So let's see. We have lots of people from MIT Entrepreneurship. We have First Round Capital, University of California, Berkeley, Fly Ridge Capital. So some VCs I can imagine. Entrepreneurial programs, business programs. So what's covered in this is how to get started with customer discovery. Who do you want to learn from? What do you want to learn? How do you find interview subjects? How do you ensure an effective interview session? How do you make sense of it? Cold approach examples. I remember cold calling people. I did not like that. Yeah. So let's see what else is in here. And this book isn't very big. It's only like 70 pages. And the story, so I think this covers, the story's basically like the reason they wrote this book. I think I can imagine it. Advisor, breakthrough. Yes, I think this is basically about two people that had a business idea. Maybe they ran customer discovery interviews. Yeah, I think maybe they ran customer discovery interviews, but they did it incorrectly, or they didn't run customer discovery interviews correctly, or at all, I mean. And then they just thought people would want their product, and no one did. So that's basically why customer discovery interviews is important, because you want to make sure your idea is useful and would be used. And so these just remove bias and ensure that people would actually, if you conduct interviews correctly, you get to see that people would actually want your product. Yeah, so helps with interviews. What do you want to ask? What do you want to learn? Who do you want to ask? How do you ensure that you're doing it correctly? There's an example. How do you make sense of it? Conclusion, cold approach examples. Cold approach examples they have here. They include an email example, a voice message example, business assumption exercise, mock interviews, screwing up customer discovery. Yeah, so solid resource on how do you conduct customer discovery interviews to make sure that what you're working on is actually addressing people's pain points, which essentially means how do you know people are willing to pay for your idea and you're not just wasting your time. So that's a solid one. Let me write it down. Talking to humans. short book on conducting customer discovery interviews correctly, or on the details of conducting covering the details of conducting customer discovery interviews. Yeah. So I would actually put this kind of high, because customer discovery interviews is one of the first things you should be doing. So I know what's there. Probably, I don't know if I'd say it's top 5. Well, I need to go through the other ones first. Once I see how the other ones go, if this isn't like a top 5, I would still probably put it under like 1. So it would be like 1.2. 1.1 would be this one. 1.2 would be talking to humans. Next book is that I'm reviewing, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So let's see. The main reason that I had this book in my list was because you need to network. You need to basically find a team that is, well, I want to find a team. Maybe it won't be like in this first few months, but once I have an idea, I'm going to need a team to build it. I can't, as productive and efficient as I can be, not saying that I am right now, I need a team. So for a team, you need to meet with people. You need to network. For mentors, you need to meet people. You need to network. For investors, for team, so there's that. And then I'm sure there's lots of other sort of in between where you networking and everything is important. Not just networking, but like maintaining those relationships. So what this book covers, you can go after the job you want, you can get it, you can take the job you have and improve it. Learn the 6 ways to make people like you, the 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking, and 9 ways to change people without arousing sentiments. Looking at the table of context, fundamental techniques in handling people, 6 ways to make people like you, how to win people to your way of thinking. You can't win an argument, a drop of honey, how to get cooperation, be a leader, how to change people without arousing offense or without giving offense or arousing sentiment, how to criticize, how to talk about your own mistakes first. No one likes to take orders. How to spur people on success. Yeah, it seems solid. It almost seems like influence. I haven't read influence, but I can imagine influence would probably talk about something like this, where you're talking about persuasion, but maybe it takes like a marketing approach. So 9 suggestions on how to get the most out of this book. Fundamental techniques. Principle 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. That's a good principle. Most people want to include... people want health, food, sleep, money, life, sexual gratification, the well-being of our children, feeling of importance. Be genuinely interested in other people. Smile. I remember a person's name is sweetest and most important sound in my language. Be a good listener. Talk in terms of other people's interests. Try honestly to see things from other person's points of view. Throw down a challenge. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Yeah, so I think this is a pretty good one. What would I even say it? Covers. I don't want to say techniques, but like I'll come back to this. Basically, what the title says. How to, I don't know if handle is the right word, but how to like manage relationships. Manage relationships and make the most of them. Of the relationships. I think it would be useful in networking and maintaining relationships for team building, mentor, recruiting, and bringing investors on board. That one's done. Now let's go on to Blue Ocean Strategy. This one, how to create uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. Based on 150 strategic moves at the lasting success, So lasting success, they claim, comes from creating blue oceans, which are untapped new market spaces ripe for growth. They talk about how to make competition irrelevant with principles and tools that any organization can basically implement. And what is in this book? Part 1, Blue Ocean Strategy. How do you create it? What's your tools and framework? How do you go about creating your strategy? So reconstruct market boundaries, focus on the big picture, get the strategic sequence right. That's important. I think sequencing is important, and then executing. So overcome hurdles, build execution into the strategy, align value, profit, and people propositions. Competition should not occupy the center of strategic thinking. That's a good point. Strategic thinking execution can be built into this strategy formulation, step-by-step guide. The world needs blue oceans. That's an interesting. So is it saying, that's an interesting sentence. Acknowledgements. Creating blue oceans, new market space, the impact of creating blue oceans. So it's basically saying people who are in blue oceans make more money. I mentioned earlier they last longer. And typically when you're in the blue ocean, you have no competition and you're more focused on the product and innovation as opposed to just trying to outdo the competitors. Yeah, so red ocean is you're focused on competing in the market space. While blue ocean is competition isn't relevant and you're in a market space that there's no others. And it seems to be sort of concise in that they have a list of points that are key to the strategy, and then the book is really just about elaborating and getting the point across about what those points are. So in that sense, it's very good, concise, straight to the point until you all you need to do is just understand what those points mean. Have lots of examples. Getting the sequence right. Sequence of blue ocean strategy. Is there an exceptional utility in your business? Price easily accessible. Nice. So what do I think about it? Uncontested market space. So I think this is actually good to start with when you... Actually, when is it good? Because is it good once you have an idea and then you just need to slightly pivot? Or is it... Because it seemed like some of the diagrams were things you should be thinking before you even start your business or you're in the ideation phase. Yeah, so I guess if you're in the ideation phase and you're looking to start a business, a company, a startup, and you want this to be like your all out, and you want to build sort of at the edge of innovation, or your startup provides some sort of value and is innovative in comparison to the other existing market. So let's write it down. Covers how to well, it says it in the book, how to competitors best for and so something like that. It's for people in the early phases working on the next big idea, which is to say that they're working on an idea that provides value and innovation over current solutions. Now, this is just for me skimming, so of course I'm going to adjust that once I actually read it, but for now it's just what I wrote down is a guide for me to rank it in comparison to the other books. And I might be wrong, but I mean, there's lots of books and I don't have time to just read them all. So this would be like a book I start reading once I'm like past my, what do you call it? Like my low-hanging fruit phase. Once I have some money from apps and I'm looking to do something more impactful because I have money. So with that, that's basically all I'll do online today. Once I'm offline, I'll probably continue refining my list and deciding, continue building my list and maybe decide. And then there's some other things I need to do offline, just finish all the other books, organize, or maybe I'll do the other books online, just so that everyone can sort of walk over them with me. I know you may not have the books, so you can just do like a quick online search and get your impressions on the book. So I'll do this tomorrow as well. And how many more do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15. So that's going to be, let's say, 10 minutes per book. 14, 15. Slightly under 3 hours. Tomorrow. Okay, actually we don't need to do this immediately because we're also working on our ideas and starting to build projects. So we can let it go a little bit out. Final list isn't until 22nd, so we can do like the 17th. My other books arrive later anyways, so. We'll just do like 6 every day until we finish it. Great. So let me recap what I've done today. So if all you're doing is watching the recaps, what I did today is, okay, actually let me first find everything. Great. So let's recap. What I did today in like 3 minutes. So first thing, I am breaking down my March to Startup into 2 phases. One is freelancing. This is going to bring me capital. This is going to help me build my skills. And this is going to help me work on apps that are going to be part of my portfolio, but also that I'm also just going to sell. So it's being very strategic in how I'm using my time and making sure I can also make money. So because I'm freelancing, I need to build a portfolio. I've scoped out what platforms I'm going to use. So for now, it's going to be Upwork and Fiverr. Today we decided Freelancer wasn't very useful. There's like 30 to 80 people bidding per project. So it seems like a waste of time to have to write that many grants to actually get one of them. So scoped out freelancing platforms. I already created the profiles. So today was just looking at other developers, seeing what skills I need, what my portfolio should look like, and how much should I charge. And then also making a list of projects. And so just recapping what skills I am going to use for freelancing. First, iOS app development. This probably is going to need some other skills to supplement it, because these projects aren't just, for example, app development. They may also include UX design. They just have an idea and they want you to build out everything. The backend, so this could be Firebase, possibly AWS, but for now I'll just use Firebase. And possibly Android app development, because if they want iOS app, they may also want Android app. And if you can only do one and they have to find another, then maybe they'd prefer to find someone who just knows both of them. So that's one skill. The second one is machine learning, computer vision. These are skills that I have to some extent and I want to continue to develop. They pay pretty good, especially if you have experience. It's like $80 for a PhD student. So I don't know if you would say a PhD student has experience, because they're not necessarily in industry. But that goes to the point that I don't need that much experience. I just need PhD, and I am a PhD student, so there's that. So yeah, there's skills. Then considering what skills I'm going to focus on, I decided to see what projects I'm going to build. And these are projects I'm going to start building probably this week. Yeah, probably this week I'm going to decide on one and start building it. And so these projects, again, as I mentioned, are going to focus either on iOS app development or machine learning computer vision. I most likely want to stick with iOS app development because it's something I can publish on the App Store and start to make money. Machine learning, they're cool, but I can't start to make money there. So basically made a list of requirements on what projects, if I do a project, what it should try to include so that I can include it in my portfolio. And then start to make a list of projects that I want to work on. For example, a time tracker, or maybe I want to track the number of weeks in my life and make sure that I make the most of each week. So it's like a bit of a mood weekly review, that sort of thing. And there's some other ones that I included. So yeah, there are other things I need to do to sort of complete the list, such as search on Reddit boards, go through the productivity section in the App Store and see what other things would be valuable to people, see what other things rich app developers have actually used and have made them money. We'll see if maybe there's some overlap that I can achieve between what I have in mind and what they have built, and then just ask ChatGPT. So there's that. And I'm going to decide on my first app to build tomorrow. Going to start building it, if not tomorrow, the next day. And yeah, so essentially that crosses out also my idea of pursuing low-hanging fruit. I basically want to take this startup path in a set of sequences, and the first sequence is going to be, okay, what's the easiest, what's low-hanging fruit, what are pain points I know I can address, make these apps for my portfolio, but also sell them, make some money, enough to hopefully not have to freelance, or minimal freelancing hours. And then next step will be, okay, now that we have that, let's make a little bit of a more valuable app or website. Because I have time, I can learn website development as well. And then from there, okay, now that we have a website that's making some money, hopefully like 2, 3K, 5K website or app, now let's focus on something more valuable. Maybe be in the crypto blockchain space or Web3 or something that's innovative, at the edge of innovation and ripe for disruption. And then so on and so forth. So it's a set of steps, set of sequences, basically like Elon Musk. He went from like, I think it was like Zip2 or Zip something to PayPal to Tesla to SpaceX to everything else that he's doing. Yeah, and then the last thing worth mentioning was finishing off, continuing the list of resources. So these resources are things I'm going to reference, that I'm going to learn as I go. So at each step, at each phase in the startup, I'm going to see what references are most applicable, read enough of it that I can apply immediately in that phase, and essentially be as productive and efficient, save time, save money as I can. Yeah, see y'all tomorrow.